Hey everyone, my name is Kanak Vartak and I'm pursuing my Masters of Management degree course from SAS Institute of Management Studies. And today I am going to present a presentation for the subject business decision method for the topic survey on investments in share market. So let's go over the first slide. So first slide is about the investment in share market. So according to our survey, the survey reveals that the investors are heavy biased towards short-term trading, with 65% of investors holding positions for less than 1 year. Consequently, medium-term commitments remain very low, while ultra-long-term investing is virtually non-existing among participants. And also, behavior monitoring, daily and active market tracking dominates on investor behavior, led by 38.1% of respondents checking their portfolios once a day. And additionally, also 19% monitors positions continuously, leaving the remaining group to review assets weekly, monthly, or only during the major events. So talk about the next slide, which is the problem statement. So the problem statement in the market is severely restricted by a lack of trust, deep risk aversion, and a significant knowledge gap among potential investors. This friction is intensified by a shortage of reliable guidance, making market complexity and uncertainty highly intimidating. And also the objective of our research is first of all the study 6 hours survey, and research 6 the study to understand demographic behavior and barriers, revealing that 52.4% of participants heavily favor mutual funds and ETF. Meanwhile, direct equity captures 28.6 of the interest, leaving derivatives and IPOs as a minor preference at 9.5% each. And also about the research methodology, that is, this exploratory study relies entirely on primary descriptive research to gather direct investor feedback and demographic data. A structured online survey questionnaire, which we have done as the core and methodology to ensure clean, consistent, and data collection. So next, and about the sample size. So the data represents 21 individual survey responses with a dominant younger demographic, as 52.4% of the participants are under 25, and the remaining sample splits evenly between ages 25, 35, and 36 at etc. About the data, and next slide is about the data analysis and interpretation. So the data analysis evaluates demographic diversity, behavioral trends, and market barriers to map comprehensive investor feedback. The underlying database confirms that mutual funds and ETF dominates preference at 52.4%, followed by direct equity at 28.6%. So next, talking about the next slide, which is the findings. So finding through our survey for the investment in share markets highlights that the findings clear of investment habits alongside significant barriers that prevent non-investors from participating. Feedback shows a powerful demand for enhanced and resources, specifically tools offering future recommendation and real-time risk analysis. So talking about the next slide, which is limitation of the study. So our study limitation is the study scope is restricted by a small sample size, potential self-employed data, inaccuracies, and method assumptions. These constraints introduce geographical and demographic bias, meaning the result may not represent a broader investment public. So let's talk about the suggestions which we have been taken through over the research we have done. So the suggestion is the platforms to develop a guided investment features featuring simplified user experience and integrated education resources. To drive confidence, these systems must implement real-time analytics alongside risk adjustment or guaranteed return projections. So next is our final, which is conclusion. So in our conclusion, were 21 participants study response to 21 participants, and response. The study proves that investment growth is severely hindered by risk aversion, knowledge gaps, and a heavy preference for fixed deposit. Bridging this gap requires intuitive tech and driven platforms that provide secure guidance and real-time insights to build a user confidence. So next is this our author, this is Kanak Vartak, and which is done by survey etc. Thank you.